Hey everyone, this is Dave. You're watching Under 40 Yards, and this is another episode of the off season. Today I'm going to do another review video. I've been waiting to do this one for a while. I think a lot of people are waiting for this review as well. It's on the new Dogtra Compass handheld GPS device. This is the latest from Dogtra that goes with their Pathfinder 2 system. Pathfinder 2 system's been out for quite a few years now. I've been using it since basically it was released. It's a fantastic system. I've had this controller for, I don't know, about 6 months or so. I've waited to do a review just so they could get all the kind of bugs worked out. They've had a couple firmware updates that have made big improvements to it. This is a system that maybe you're interested in if you don't like to use your phone like on the Pathfinder 2. This goes with the Pathfinder 2, replaces the yellow connector that you might be using today if you don't want to have control with your phone. You can still use your phone with this device. You can still use a watch with this device. This connector basically just replaces the yellow connector. But the yellow connector is still for sale, still the same system it's always been. If you don't need that level of control, or you don't like, or you don't think you need the handheld, you still have that choice. So this offers a little bit more convenience because you're getting direction directly on the unit. You're getting your stats. You can control, I think, up to 16 dogs, or maybe it's 30 dogs. It's a lot of dogs. You can set up the screen to control 4 at the same time on one screen. You can toggle through all of those dogs that you have set up. It's a really intuitive system, really well thought out. I really like it. It's very durable, well built, like most things Dogtra. We're going to go back to the truck, give it a look. If you notice, you'll see it sitting in this holster. This does not come with the unit. This is something that I've designed and developed, and I manufacture at my house. So if you're interested in that, we'll talk about that later, and there'll be a link in the description for this. But again, the Dogtra Compass, this is the name of the system. It is part of the Dogtra Pathfinder 2 ecosystem. It's just another component that you can mix and match. You don't have to use it. You can. You don't have to. Really versatile. Been enjoying using it. I've had it on several trips at the end of the season, and so far I really like the system. And it's only improved with the firmware that they've released. It's gotten better. There was a few initial problems. It's not a perfect system. There's a couple things I wish they would change about it. But overall, you know, it's a 90% like from me. So we'll go back to the truck and have a closer look. Hey everyone, we're back at the truck. We're going to give the new Dogtra Compass GPS connector a review. We're going to compare it against the old connector. Let's just do everything Dogtra. Mini collar, full-size collar. Sawyer's been wearing them for years. What's the difference between this one and this one? Let's have a closer look. All right, let's have a look at the total Pathfinder 2 offerings. You don't have to buy all this stuff. I happen to have all of it. Let's start at the left. This is the original collar that I got when I first went into the system 4 or 5 years ago. This is the full-size Pathfinder 2 GPS receiver collar. It's been a fantastic collar. I've had 0 issues with it all this time. The antenna has never pulled out. It's been through hundreds, thousands of dog miles. In the middle here, this is the mini collar. So this came out later. It's now been available for quite some time. And this is geared towards a little bit smaller dog, maybe your dogs that are under 40 pounds. Sawyer is a bigger dog. He's, 60 to 65 pounds, give or take. So I put the bigger collar on him. The battery life is going to be better on the big collar. The little collar, though, has great battery life. The difference in range is 9 miles on the large collar and 4 miles on the small collar. And that's basically a function of this antenna. So these radio antennas are actually what talk back to your connection device, whether that's the original connector, this yellow connector, which is still available to purchase. This one pairs with your phone to get full functionality. And now you have the brand new Compass, which is a great alternative if you don't like to use your phone. Some guys don't like to use their phone in the field. Now you have a dedicated hand control. And I'm showing my watch here. This obviously is not part of Dogtra's offering, but the Pathfinder app does run on either an Apple Watch, or in my case, it runs on Wear OS. This is a Galaxy 5 Pro. It's an older watch. You can actually get these, you can get these on eBay for like 60 bucks. They're super cheap. Now, if you go with the most expensive, newest one, obviously you can pay a lot more, but this watch has been great for me. The Galaxy 5 Pro has a larger battery, and it has a 45 millimeter face to it, so it's a little bit easier to see. I had a Watch 4 previously. The battery was just tiny. It was kind of useless for doing this, but this watch is great. I'm just showing it because this is also an option. To use the watch, though, you're gonna have to run your phone app. That's how it gets paired. So you can pair your phone with the new Compass handheld, or you've always been able to pair it with the old yellow connector. But this one functions the same exact way. You can actually just essentially swap out these two. This is sort of like a mix and match modular system, which is really great for a user. You don't have to buy one set or the other. You can actually start with this yellow connector and see how you like the system overall. If you want to later upgrade to this handheld, this is great. I'll have a link in the description where you can save some money and get a discount code by using my affiliate code. Anything on the website, if you use that link, $199 or more, you're going to save some money at checkout. So take advantage of that. It's a great system. Dogtra doesn't run a lot of sales, but with my code, it works all the time. So this new collar, I've used some. It's great because it's a lot smaller and lighter on the dog. So just to compare the difference in size, you can kind of see there is a fairly significant size difference in weight. It's not terribly different, but great system. Let's set that aside and have a look at the controllers. Let's get this out. Again, the old yellow connector, this connects to your phone. You run the app on your phone. That's required to make this work. It has one programmable button that you can use for, in my case, I just used it for tone because I use it for recall. But you can set that to nick, you can set it to any dog collar function. But looking at the new Compass, what you'll notice is you get a lot more functionality on the sides. You have these 4 hard buttons. So this truly makes this collar a track and train. This system, before, it has all the e-collar functions and all the GPS functions, yes, but in order to use it as a training collar, you're going to have your phone in your hand, and now you don't have those tactile feeling to the buttons. If you want to give stimulation or you want to have good timing, it's very difficult to do that with the app. So now this makes it a true track and train system. It's really good. I've been using it for about 6 months now. The firmware's been updated a few times, like I said earlier, and I think it's ready to go. So let's jump into some of the functionality. So what I'm going to do is power on this system, and we'll see what it does. So first thing, on the side button, hold it down for a few seconds. You see the app power up. I'm going to turn this collar on, my original. And then I'm also going to turn on my newer mini collar. You gotta hold that button down for a few seconds. It'll give you that beep, audible, and you'll start seeing those green lights beeping at you, kind of blinking at you. So now it's on the screen. I've got the mini orange, that's the small collar. If I go to the next collar, I've got that one labeled as Sawyer, and right now it's not showing a signal. So it takes a couple of minutes to acquire the satellites and then bring that connection in. We'll just wait. Now you see it's connected. If I go back to mini orange, that one's a little bit behind because I started it second. Let's see when that picks up. There we go. So you see, one of the features that I'm not crazy about is that within 30 feet. So anytime that one of these collars is within 30 feet, you no longer get the arrow direction. This is the biggest thing that I don't like about the system, because I was in a hunting situation last fall, and you know, where I hunt, it's thick. I'm either in the woods or in the pheasant fields where it's really, really thick. And if I can't see Sawyer on the way in, sometimes inside 30 feet, I need an arrow direction to know where he is. Did I go past him? Did I not? It's sort of a minor thing, because generally you know where he is in the area. But it's something that I want them to change, because the app doesn't do that and the phone doesn't do that. So I don't know why the decision was made to do this, but they did. So I'm going to take now and put these collars further away so we can see the difference in direction. All right, I got the collars both on and kind of separated a good distance. We got the larger one is at 60 feet away. You can see the arrow pointing a little bit to the right. And if I scroll through with this button here, you see this next button. That'll go to the mini orange collar. And that one's just off to the left of the other one. You could see he's at 50 yards. If we look down on the watch, we've got a similar reading, 49 yards and 53 yards. That's running off of the app on the phone, so these two are paired together. And you can see the location of these on the screen below from the app. And we'll cover the app and how you set it up and things like that. There's a lot of tutorials out there that Dogtra has that might be a pretty good resource as well. But let's look at this and get used to the buttons and how they work. So again, going next cycles through the dogs. Now I have one dog set up per screen. I could have both of these collars set up at the same time and have dedicated controls. For example, the bottom row and the top row could be programmed to collar 1 and collar 2 at the same time. Or you could have up to 4. When you have up to 4, you just get one button per control per dog, at least in that screen. You can still go navigate to the dog, and as Dogtra says it, the dog selected is the dog corrected. So that's a good way to look at it. You'll get that one quick action. Let's say you just have tone or for recall on all 4 dogs. Or you want to have continuous or nick or some correction on it, you can do that too. You'll get that one function, but if you need all the functions, you can just toggle through each screen to get the full dog control. And we'll go over that in a second, but you can see the difference in direction. It's pointing out, and I can say it's very accurate in this case. There's not a lot of difference between where I put them, but you can see the direction arrow. And as I turn, you can see that direction arrow still stays on. So no matter how you're holding it, it's going to adjust to where you are. So really good system. If I go to detail, I'm going to go to detail on this. It's going to show some more specifics. Current speed, total distance traveled, current altitude, things like that. Stuff that you might just look up after the hunt. If you're recording it, you're going to use that on the phone. I like to look at this stuff. I wish they'd make, this is another sort of criticism, I wish they make this font a little bit easier to read. And this screen is turned all the way up to its brightest, which seems to be pretty good. Even in full sun, you can still see it. But let's go back and let's start covering some of the app's functionality. All right, take a closer look at the app. If you've used this before, this gives you full mapping. You can see we have, I'm at one of our training areas right now, so you can see a decent overlay satellite view of the maps, and it has all your functionality on it. You can record the track. I use this quite a bit, start, stop, and then I look at some of the metrics after a hunt, or maybe I add them all up at the end of the week, for example, etc., like that. You have a timer, different controls. Down here is the compass. Oh, this one needs calibrated. Let me do that real quick. Okay, we're calibrated now. You can see the direction it's pointing. North is this way. This is just a regular compass. If I want to see the direction where the dogs are, I can hit view all, and it shows 2 arrows. Again, this is the app. I have a full complete video on this system that if you want to watch, you can go ahead. I'll put a link in the description. It's all based on the old yellow connector and the app. The app is still obviously valid, but I'm not going to waste your time with that. Let's just get into talking about the compass and how we set it up. Okay, so if I go to this page and I go to device list, I'll see this, and I'll see the connector up here. That's me. And here we go. Now, if you want, you can change the screen layout, or you can leave it as factory settings. Let's look through some of these settings right now. LCD timeout. I have that always on, and the reason for that is when the screen goes dark, the functionality buttons are not working. So any button that you push wakes up the system. So let's say you're in a scenario where you want to recall the dog, you want some tone. I don't know if the screen is off or not, and I have to kind of hit it once to wake it up and then hit it again to actually do the command. I'm not crazy about that. I wish that was something they would change also. But you can also have the LCD screen always on. The battery life in this thing is really good. So even with the full brightness of the LCD and the battery on all the time, it's really good. I've had no trouble with battery life. Now I haven't done any like full 10-hour hunts or anything with it, but it's a quick charging system. It has USB-C charging. It's really good. The collars themselves last, on a week trip, I might charge them one time. They're really good collars, have great battery life. The smaller one, you're going to have to charge more. But the same thing with this guy. This has really good battery life for its size. The Compass has even better. So I have seen nothing like that. So you can see some of these options. Bluetooth connected, current speed, GPS update rate. It comes configured, I think, at 4 seconds. I always change that to 2. So now it's going to relay to me every 2 seconds where the dog is. That's going to use more battery. There's no doubt about it. But again, I haven't had no battery problems with it. I don't run out of battery. Sometimes I forget to charge it because the batteries are lasting so long. Marker color I can change if I want myself a different color. Show tracking line, share my location. Now sharing is something that I can't really do without another system, but you can share your location with your buddy. So if he's running also Pathfinder 2, whether it's just with the old connector or it's with the new compass, you can share your positions with each other. Really cool. I've done it before. It works very, very nice. Up here you're going to see the layout of the button screen. So let's go into there. Okay. So now you can see how I have mine set up. Each button, because I run typically one dog at a time, I have tone on both top buttons. That's just because sometimes I have the compass mounted towards me, and sometimes I have it away from me, and I don't want to mix up the buttons, so I just have them both at tone. And that's the control that I use the most for Sawyer, just recall, change direction, recall. Down here you have level lock and boost. And level lock is great because you can do a correction, but because it has a rheostat, you bump this a lot. Like this is easily bumped and moved, and you can see when I bump it, it's changing numbers. And you don't want to give the dog a little bit too much. So you can actually level lock that. So let's say you get it into a position of like 20 or whatever your dog is going to take to have a correction, you can lock it into that setting. Really great. Now you can bump the button. It's not going to make a difference. If I hit this button and this thing gets twisted up to 100, it's still going to run it at 20. Boost. Another great feature, which is not available with just the app on the phone. So the Compass brings you more functionality. And boost is a level just above level lock. So let's say level lock is small at 10 or 15 or something, and you want to boost the dog, you want to get his attention, he's headed for danger, you can set that boost to like plus 20 of wherever you are. So if I'm at 10 level lock and I go and I add 20 to it, when I hit boost, it's going to give him a 30. And that's going to get his attention. So that is a really cool feature. I don't know who thought of it. Great idea. I love it. I use it here. I don't do much correction with him. He's a senior dog at this point. But that's a great feature. So if we go here, we can see receiver selection, select one, tone. You have this drop down. That's how it's laid out. If I go here, I can see the different level lock, boost, and this is where I set the boost. So mine's at 19 right now, and that's, again, whatever is level lock above that. So it doesn't mean it's going to go at 19. If you've got level lock at 40, in this case, let's say it's 20, it's going to go at 60, or in my case, 59. So it's just plus, it's just an adder. So tone, you have all the functionalities on each button. So this is a setup for one dog screen. But again, the dog selected is the dog corrected. So if we do this, if we have screen layout, you'll see one dog. And I think that's the default when you buy the unit, it comes like this. But I can go to two dogs. Since I have two collars here, if I switch that, now you see the screen to the right immediately changed. And now I've got tone, and this is boost, and that's lock. So those buttons are still hard-coded to the other functionality. You can actually change that to have it each different. So let's say I go to, oh, I'm sorry. You can have two different settings. You can have it dedicated buttons for each dog, or in the case of 4 dogs, you have one button for each tile. But you always have full control over everything on the dog. So if I go to next, now it's controlling this collar, but with all the same 4 buttons, I've got lock and boost, lock, tone, boost, because the dog selected is the dog corrected. So if I toggle between them, I'm going to get all that functionality. Now if I want to have them split where these two buttons are dedicated to each dog, you can also do that. So let's see, how do we do that? 4 dog, let's see what 4 dog looks like. Those are 2 are going to be empty. 3 dog is going to look similar. 2 dog, 1 dog. You can actually go vertical or horizontal in 2 dog. I would think this is probably would be the way I would run it. Okay, we're back at the screen layout, and let's look at this model type, select one. So now you have up here, receiver selection type. If I go here, now you're going to see 1 dog on each side, or you're going to go to the override. Now what override does is you can programmatically set each dog button to a specific collar. So if I go to override and I choose this, now you'll see I've got double here because I'm programming each one. So if I go, it's going to say, okay, which dog are you programming? Let's say I program Sawyer. He's here. He's Sawyer. And I want tone on both of those top rows, like we said before. Tone on the top row. Here, pick your dog again. Or let's say I'm on mini orange now. And for this collar, I want Nick on this button. And I want, whoops, let's pick mini orange again. And I want boost on that button. That's how I'm overriding the functionality. Now I have dedicated buttons to here and here. So if you're always running 2 dogs, for example, you might want to consider this functionality where each dog is going to get its own stimulation, dedicated buttons. For me, I think I would probably not go to the override one. Just personally, I would go to the dedicated buttons for each and then toggle through. Now I'm going to get, basically, again, the dog selected is the dog corrected in this case. I'm still going to get my direction from each dog, but all 4 of these buttons are doing the same thing. So tone, tone, boost, and continuous. If I go to the next dog, same thing. Now this is back on the basically the default functionality, if you will. So the override is where you can really customize it for each dog. So if you're always running the same 2, 3, 4 dogs, you might want to go here, and maybe one dog needs Nick, the other one dog needs tone. You're going to have each button dedicated to that dog. You're not going to have to switch between modes. You've got that tactile feel. Really cool, really good option. Really like this. Let's go back to the screen layout again. One dog. So back at the screen layout setup, I'm going to go back to one dog, and you'll see that on the screen. And if I toggle through, I'm going to get each dog. So you can see that screen brightness did kind of dim down a little bit, but when it comes back on, it's at full strength. And I've found you kind of need that when it's a sunny day. So in this setup, again, I have all the same controls. The dog selected is the dog corrected. If I go to this mini org, it's going to beep the other collar with the same functionality. So that's kind of how it works. Go back to dog vertical. You can see how quickly that changes. Really nice. Horizontal. I would think, I don't know, maybe 2 dog vertical would be the way to go. But again, in this mode, the dog selected is dog corrected. So if I think Sawyer's getting a tone, he's not, because he's not selected. Now he is. Same with the bottom row. I'm getting boost, continuous and boost on this bottom row, which is way too hot. You can actually lock these. You see that lock button? Let's see, how exactly does this work? There, you can see the unlock, and then I can set it at my 10, like that. Whoops, I accidentally hit the controls. So you can see it's locked now, and if I twist it, it's not going to go higher or lower. So that's a great safety feature, because I was worried about this, because every time you touch it, it's very sensitive. And if you saw my holster earlier, just pulling it out of the holster, you're always touching this knob. So like I say, I don't use stimulation too much. It's just to kind of save the dog if he's in a bad situation. But that is the Dogtra Compass in a nutshell. One thing I've had to do with it is, in the past, before they updated the firmware, you had to calibrate it a lot. Like, it was kind of annoying. They released a firmware version some months ago and definitely fixed that. So, but I have noticed this. So if you travel a long distance, like I traveled down to Kansas in January for quail season. When I got there, you know, I'm talking 500 or 600 miles from where I live, it needed to be calibrated. So in order to do that, you can either, sometimes the device will show you on the screen. I can't really make it do that right now. But other times, if you need to calibrate it, if you're getting weird directional signals out of it, if you just long press this left button, you're going to get the old calibration screen that you might get on your phone's GPS, etc. I'll go ahead and do that. It does, it says complete it, and it vibrates. You just hit OK. We're all set. One thing I get a lot of questions on is, do I need cell phone coverage for this to work? No, you do not need cell phone coverage for this to work. It will always tell you where your dog is. If you're using the phone and you want to see the maps, what you're not going to get is the maps if you don't have cell phone connection. However, if you know you're going to be in an area ahead of time without coverage, you can download maps on the Dogtra Pathfinder 2 app. It's very easy. You pick a square. If you're familiar with other hunting apps, you probably already know how to do it. And that will give you offline maps. I'll admit I never do this because I don't really care about, to be honest, about the what the satellite view looks like. The only reason I might do the maps is because now Dogtra Pathfinder also has some boundaries of public land. It's not as complete as other hunting apps that you might be using, but it does show some general boundaries of known public land areas. So that's pretty handy if you're if you don't use one of the other apps. You might be able to use it to get away with certain areas and where you're going to hunt. So just know, no cell phone service is required for this to work. It does not need it. So that 9-mile range that we talk about with the big antenna, that's all a function of this radio antenna coming back to you. So that is going to be a more ideal condition. So am I going to get 9 miles in the woods? No, you're not going to get 9 miles in the woods. But I can say, you know, I've never had my dog away from me more than 600 yards out west. And I've never had a trouble with there. I hope I don't have to. If you're into coon hounds and running dogs like that, lion hunting, your dog is going to run miles ahead of you. Does it always work perfect? I can't answer that question in the upland world. But from what I've seen, it has a very good system, very good service. So keep that in mind. Just wanted to throw that in there, and I'll see you next time. You can hear Sawyer's on point. It's giving me that single beep, letting me know. I can look down, get direction to him. As long as he stays on point, it'll still sound with that audible beep. Here he goes, until you find the dog. So the tone only goes off while he's on point. It doesn't go off the entire time you're out here. So just know that. Yes! Yes! Dead bird, buddy. Dead bird. Get him. All right, thanks for sticking around for my holster review. If you're interested in the Dogtra Compass, again, use the code in the description below. I'll put up a QR code on the screen. You can also use that. It'll take you right to the site. As long as you use that affiliate site, you're going to save on $199 or higher, anything on the site. But the Dogtra Compass comes with a limited way to attach it to your body. Essentially, you've got a loop here. You can tie it to a lanyard and have that lanyard swing from your neck. That works just fine. I'm not crazy about lanyards. I don't like things swinging around me, bumping into me, kind of, especially when I'm in the grouse woods. It's getting tangled in trees, it's pulling, it's swinging back around. Not crazy. You could stick it in your pocket, I guess. That's a little bit more difficult to deal with. I do some mechanical design and 3D printing on the side. I have a little workshop where I make different products. So I had to make this. So here is the sand color. I've got two examples of it because I've got both clips. I'm just showing you. We also have it in black. Same thing if you want it in black. But this sand kind of matches your vest color, your typical vest color. I also have the original, which is an open face design, and it's made for facing forward and giving you full access to all the buttons. These are made to be reversible, so you see it's got holes on each side of it. Let's look at the black one. It shows that a little bit easier. These are brass threaded inserts that are embedded on both sides, and that gives you the option to mount it forward or backward. And I realized when I designed the first one, it was forward only facing. So you have this sitting away from you, the screen is facing away from you. When you go to pull it out, you have to kind of twist it around to use it. In this scenario, if you like that, that's fine, you can still do that. But in this setup, it's facing towards you. So now when I pull it out of the holster, I can pull it right up and I'm looking at it with my eyeballs. I don't have to twist it around. I can still have it go the other way and mount it on this side, and now it's going to face away from me. You see it has two different clips. I've got a large clip that is for your strap vest. This is like a 50mm or 2-inch strap vest that most strap vests have on their waist belt. It'll attach there, and the way it's designed is it won't let go. So even if you unclip your vest, it's going to hang on to this. So it has a slight friction fit in it, which, believe it or not, was very difficult to get right. I probably made 40 copies of this with slight adjustments, trying to get the exact right fit. And I think I came up with what works well, and it has sort of that satisfying friction fit. Not too hard, you don't have to jerk it to get it out. You have access to all the side buttons with these cutouts. It has, on the inside, you could see it's got the Dogtra Compass. Just tells you kind of what it is. That's all. This is not a Dogtra product. This is my own product. I developed it because I needed something. I didn't like the thing swinging. There's not a good way to connect it. The old connector was different because it just has a metal clip, and that would stay on your vest. And all you had to do is, the only option you had at all is this one button click. So that was easy to do. I don't have to remove it for that. I just hit the button, I feel it, I hit the button. Now in this case, I need to get my eyeballs on the screen, so you've got to pull it out. So the one issue that they had is they actually sell this unit with this clip. So the Compass comes with this Dogtra branded clip. Really nice clip, works great on your belt. So if you took this and put it on here, you mount it into your belt. The problem with that is you can pull it off fairly quickly, but now try to put it back on. It's like you're gonna fiddle with it and try to get this back over your belt. It just doesn't work. So this is why I prefer this holster system that it slides in and out. Now I designed it so their supplied Dogtra clip screws right into mine. It's the same exact design. So, you know, why reinvent the wheel? The bolts, the screw size and the spacing is identical between them. You can interchange them. You can rotate these sideways for vertical molly. So a lot of the vests have only a vertical molly on their, let's say their strap vest on the shoulder. You can take this guy and rotate it sideways. I'll show you that. So no, you don't get the electric screwdriver. The kit comes with 4 screws, and it comes with the small adapter and the large adapter. Here's the small unit. I've got another one set up with the larger. This is for 2-inch or 50mm waist belt on a typical strap vest. It's a little bit thicker. It'll have a little bit thicker withstanding, and it has this little clasp here that really prevents it from pulling off. So when you undo your waist belt, it's not just going to fall on the ground. It's going to hang on to this unit, and also the compass itself will hang on there. And this clip is kind of dual purpose. You can see that it has this little loop on the end of it. And that is for if you wanted to, I've got another one set up on the compass itself, if you wanted to attach a lanyard to it. So you can actually attach this, like I said earlier, my clips attach to the Dogtra unit itself, and the Dogtra clip attaches to my holster as well. So same bolt, I supply these screws. It's a little bit different screw than Dogtra uses. These are a little bit better. But if you wanted to hang it upside down, you could do it like this off your vest. Otherwise, the only way to hang it would be vertical, you know, on this molded piece that Dogtra supplies. Some guys like to swing them from a lanyard upside down, so you could do it this way, because otherwise there's no way to attach anything to the bottom of the unit itself. So you can use it like this too. It just gives you a few options, but mostly this is for that waist belt setup, which works good. I do sell it with a another coiled lanyard for safety, so you can put that to your person and now you're not going to lose it. But let's look at this sideways. So again, a couple of my vests have this scenario where you get an Allen key with the kit. It comes with a few different things. So now it's sitting this way. Now it's going to sit on your molly, your vertical molly, just the same way, and you're still going to be able to use it. So it's got a lot of different mounting points. If you wanted to make your own mount for, I don't know, your truck or something, these are 24 millimeter square between them. That's it. You want to make your own, if you're into that kind of thing, you can. Now the construction of this is made out of an engineering grade plastic called ASA. ASA is like an automotive quality plastic, very high UV resistance. You can let this thing set outside forever. It'll be fine. This is also embedded with carbon fiber material. So this has about 8% carbon fiber. These are 3D printed, super strong. The machines today are so good compared to when I started with 3D printing years ago. This thing is very, very strong and sturdy. It's going to last forever. Check it out. It's got my brand on it, of course. One thing I kind of like about it is it has the device itself. The compass has a round bottom, so you can't really stand it up, but you can with my holder if you want. I don't know, maybe kind of silly, but it's nice to kind of set it on a table like that. Whatever. Buy multiples. You can. Again, you can buy the open face design. This is the original. It has a little bit less obstruction to it, but again, it's going to face away from you only. I find this one works nice with the belt loop for training. So if I'm not in a hunting situation, I just mount the Dogtra clip and I go through my belt loop on my pants. If I don't have my strap vest on, I'm not in a hunting situation. It works good for that. But this one works the same. You can put that same guy on there and configure it however you want. It's a pretty versatile setup. So if you're interested, check it out below. It's not very expensive. I try to keep it at a decent cost. I don't know of any other Dogtra holders specifically designed to fit this on the market. You can always buy one of those soft ones. A lot of those guys sell the soft pouches, but you know, let's face it, those are just kind of lame. They just flop around. They're okay. It's like a pocket. They work fine. But this is just a custom fit, and it's tight enough where it's not going to rattle. So as you're walking, it's not going to rattle on you. It's worked really good for me. This is version 2. This is the original. Both will be available. Links in the description. Thanks for considering it, and I hope you go out and buy the Dogtra Compass or the original Pathfinder 2 connector. They're both still available. My affiliate link will work with anything on Dogtra's site. If you need launchers, if you need regular e-collars, anything on their site that is above $199, you're going to save some money. Helps my channel out a great deal, and it saves you money. Dogtra doesn't run sales too often, but this is year-round. You can get this discount anytime you like. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the field.